we're gonna play a quick game with you guys. All
Let's
right,
do it.
we're gonna play Never Have I Ever. So we have 5 questions. So we're just gonna have you put up your hand, and then I'm gonna ask a question, and if you've done it, you put it down and you kind of give us the story behind it.
You got it.
So hand up.
Hands up.
Never have I ever erased a whole session I was working on. It's good if you haven't. That would suck for the artist that you're working with. Actually,
I haven't done
I need
that
to hear a
before.
quick. I need
Yeah,
the quick story of that then.
So I was in class, and it was funny because my teacher had told me that you should have your session or anything that you're working on in 3 places, or else it doesn't exist. And I was like, cool, that sounds like a really good idea that I'll set up tomorrow. And
The perfect time to set something up tomorrow.
literally. And so it wasn't that complicated of a session. I was able to do it in like maybe a day or 2, and it was for my own personal project. But by the time I'd come in the next day and I was gonna load it on my hard drive, I opened up the session and it was just the like blank template that I had made, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I have the backup. It's cool. I'll just go on my drive on like the cloud or whatever, and then I'll pull it up." And I went on there, and it's still just the template, and I was like, I don't think I have it. And they were like,
Was it due?
Yeah, no, it was due.
Oh,
It was like
no.
you had to show it off in class.
You're like, here it is.
And
that's
nothing. Yeah, so I learned my lesson then and there. Now all my stuff exists in at least 3 places, sometimes 4.
If I may add to that, I did have a film scoring professor that like
Okay.
before it got to a point, I think it was like maybe 2 weeks into the semester, before every class, he would go around before even starting anything. Before we started, go, when was your last backup? When was your last backup? When was your last backup? When was
Smart.
your last backup? Every single person. And if the answer was not yesterday or last night, he would just be like, gotta do that.
You might
Like,
wanna
I'm
do that.
warning you because when it goes south, you're gonna start crying.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that got us, in gear to like actually seriously do this. So everybody out there, back up your files.
Yeah,
Like it's
literally.
not that
He's a
hard.
machine
Just do
now.
it.
He's a
Yes,
machine now.
literally. There's programs for it.
Yeah.
All right, so you're down 1. You're
down
good.
1.
You're
I'm
clean.
good.
All right, here. Never have I ever double booked the studio. Be like, I thought, wait, and then 2 artists are just sitting there like, wait,
I've
can
not
we?
done that.
I have
Thankfully.
not done
Okay,
that.
good.
Yeah,
That's perfect. That's
not
good.
happened.
That's perfect. All right, number 3. Never have I ever forgotten about a session I booked. You wake up, you're like, and someone's like, where are you? We're here.
I've never done that. Have I? Why are you looking at me like that? I've never.
You
I
don't
remember what
you
happened.
don't remember when we were in Audio Tech 1 and we needed you to be there?
Oh, that. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about specifically here.
It could be anytime. I mean, specifically here, sure,
Oh,
but
okay.
if it was,
Well,
if it was
okay, then
past,
there's that.
Yeah,
You guys,
okay.
to be fair, they didn't effectively communicate. So him and Amelia, no, I'm not gonna. I'm serious. Him and Amelia were like, we need you. It was like an MP&E thing, their project where you guys had to do like a bunch of different mic
Yeah.
tests. So like,
Oh, yeah.
like 20 different mics in the room, and they were like, will you do this for us? And I'm like, yeah. And I don't know how the communication got weird as to what day it was, but like it was the day of the Super Bowl, so I'm at.
Of course.
At my friend's place, I'm watching this, and there's like 20 other people over, and it wasn't far away from school because everything was, like in the same block.
Central area.
They call me like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm at Theo's place. I'm watching the Super Bowl." I'm
Where are
like,
you?
It's like, "Where are you?" It's like we have the
studio right
mic test
The mic
like
test,
session.
yeah.
I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "That's today." And so I had to leave in the
Oh.
middle of that.
You
Go
made
do
him leave
that.
the Super
I
Bowl?
did.
Are
I
you
did.
kidding me?
Go there for like an hour. I don't even remember who was playing or who won, but like
Yeah, right.
I went in there for like an hour, and then we did the whole mic test. I did little piano stuff.
Yeah.
And then we left, and then that was it. So yeah, I'm down 1.
There's that one. There's that one.
Yeah.
All right, here's another one. Number 4. Never have I ever done an all-nighter with an artist to get a song done.
Oh, I've definitely done that.
We've collectively done
We've
that.
done
yeah.
that numerous
Yeah.
occasions.
Is that something you like doing, or you're like, I need my sleep?
Especially when we were back in college.
I give up at a certain point, and I just do it the next morning
No,
because I keep
like,
my.
especially back
Yeah.
in college, studio time was competitive.
Yeah.
Like it got to the point where like it would be like 12 to 6 in the morning sessions,
Oof.
and it wasn't even like you had the option. It was that's it.
Yeah.
That's all you
Because
have.
7 days a week at Berkeley, those studios were operating. The
Oh, I'm
only,
sure.
it probably hasn't changed. The only gap of time where there was nothing going on was between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m.
Yeah,
they
like
had
literally
2 hours where there was nothing.
Wow.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
there were so many people that needed them, and there was such limited space. They had to do it like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
especially a couple of times, I would purposely just book those really late sessions because I knew no one would try to take them because you had to like log in exactly at 6:30 on the dot. Like I would go to time.gov to see when the time second changed so I could
Like,
refresh the
yeah.
page. Yeah, exactly. Just so I could get a really late slot. And then once I got the slot, I would text like all my friends and be like, yo, you want to record tomorrow? Like, and they're like, oh yeah, what time? Like 4 a.m. They're like, okay,
Sure.
yeah, we'll make that work. But once we got out here, it was a lot easier to
Yeah.
plan stuff. We're the only ones that use the space. So it's a lot easier to just be like, oh yeah, you want to come in whatever time works best for you.
Yeah.
But there have been times, especially for like our own personal projects, where at least for me, I am a crazy night owl. I'll be out here in the dark and I swear I see and hear things sometimes. And I'm like, nah, it's just my brain. I'm fine. There's nothing out here, I swear. And I'll just be sitting there mixing, doing my stuff, and I'll leave and the sun's coming up. I'm like, oh, right. Yeah, having no windows doesn't really help.
Yeah. Dang. Awesome. Well,
All right, we got the 3, right?
you got the 3. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Last
I've also-
one.
Last one.
Never have I ever not been paid for a song I produced. And that'd be here. Like the artist just is like, thanks, and then they never pay you.
How's that?
But it's never been like, oh, we'll do it for a favor. It's like you just been like stiffed almost. Like,
Oh,
has that ever happened where like someone's been like,
That's never fully happened, but
it was
was
kind of
close.
It was close.
and
Yeah,
that was way
And-
at the beginning and before we were smart enough to really put any sort of like rules in place
Yeah.
that,
Yeah,
can,
anything
like,
officially in a
legal-
contract.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'll get you.
And it
I'm
wasn't
gonna,
even
I'm gonna
that.
put one down for
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna say it wasn't even really that that they didn't or that they weren't going to. It was more like I guess they didn't. I don't know. I don't even remember the situation. All I remember was like, okay, cool, project's done, and they were like, cool.
Just there.
Where's
Okay,
the
but
money?
no.
And they were like, oh,
Yeah, well,
you
I'm
want
gonna
that
wait
now?
for so and so, and
Yeah.
it's like okay, and then opportunity after opportunity, and then it eventually got settled. But
Yeah,
it
but
was just like
it all worked out.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal.
That's awesome. I love it.